Hello, everyone. Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Boss It podcast. Today, I'm extremely excited to have Shaleen with me on the show. And Shaleen, before we get started, can you tell us what your mantra is that keeps you going?
Well, hi everyone. My name is Shaleen, and my mantra is action conquers fear.
Ooh,
And
love it.
yeah, I was really excited by this question because that is very much how I like to live my life. I think that women, especially, we can often get stuck in our own heads and start to overthink things. Like, what if someone says no? What if this idea fails? So I think that with action conquers fear, what I realize is that for every step of action that you take in your goal, like that fear starts to depreciate with every inch. So that's why I'm really passionate about that mantra.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Action conquers fear. And you're right. I think people hesitate to take that first initial step because they're so scared. But once they start moving towards even the smallest steps towards their goal, it helps get that momentum going. So that is amazing. That's an amazing mantra. I'm definitely going to also put that on my sticky note board.
When I
Um,
read that, I was like, this sums up everything I need to keep in mind in life. So
100%, 100%. And just for our audience, introduce your company. I want to hear it all.
I have always been really passionate about women empowerment and particularly like women's representation in the media. That
Mhm.
space has always been very exciting and very interesting to me. And that's why I am one of the co-founders of Women Who Win. To kind of go into like how that all came to be, my mom is actively involved with an Indian newspaper we have in Massachusetts. So she actually did a talk show with them. I used to tag along with her a lot, and I didn't realize how much of an influence it had on my life until we started this platform because what I saw at kind of an early age was that women are very multifaceted
Mm.
and they have all of these amazing stories. And so I got really excited by that. And so when we created this platform, I really wanted to hone in on that storytelling that I grew up watching.
Wonderful. And is it like a media company? How would you help somebody like myself who's an entrepreneur? What would your services look like?
That's kind of what we wanted to focus on is that women have so many expertise in so many different fields. And what
Mhm.
we saw was that in a lot of the mainstream media, they're not always the first expert to be featured. I was actually reading a study a few weeks ago about how only 20% of like guest experts on news channels are women. And I was like, well, that's a little bit low. And so our platform kind of aims to bring women's expertise to the forefront. So for women entrepreneurs like yourself, we have our women entrepreneurs section. Like that's like a big vertical for us. So we share the story of the entrepreneur. We share kind of how they built their business, as well as sort of their key expertise in their field. And so if they're like a sustainability entrepreneur, we share their story and their expertise in sustainability. And then we also, once they've joined our platform, we invite them to different speaking opportunities. So we have panel discussions once a month on whatever is like a really trending topic. So we'll invite them to be on a panel and kind of be that kind of thought leader there.
Mm.
So our goal is really to be that platform that brings the women experts in their field and really like lifts them up.
That's a beautiful service for everyone. So let's be clear. It's only for women entrepreneurs that you are.
It's women of all industries, women in tech, women entrepreneurs. That's one of our biggest verticals, I would say, is women
Right.
entrepreneurs. But
Okay.
we
Okay.
do represent across the industries.
Oh, that's wonderful. Let's move on to advice time. What is one piece of advice you wish you knew before you started your business?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. I
Mm.
think that what I've seen with a lot of my peers and in general, when it comes to networking, is people can be really focused on like that short term ask, like what they're aiming for in the short term, whether it's a job referral or finding a sponsor or an advertiser for something or like a short term opportunity. But I think that what we've really learned is that when you go into networking with kind of that long term, like genuine relationship in mind, you'll get a lot more out of it. Don't be afraid to hop on the phone, even though that's not very Gen Z of me, but
Exactly.
I mean, we're not big phone people, but
No,
I will say it's
God.
definitely
I know.
helped.
Well, I think as a millennial, we're not a big phone people either, but the text message and email only takes you so far, right? And
Yeah, exactly.
we need to know that there's another human on the other side that is trying
Right.
to make waves in their industry, and how can we help them and
Yeah.
how can they help us? And it is a great way of a relationship building. Is I think that's one of the softer benefits of starting a business. I mean, obviously people do it because they want to make money and livelihood and all the rest of it. The relationship building is extremely important. And I also could take your advice as well because we get so busy on the day to day. You don't realize that taking that extra time to build a solid relationship can not only help you in the present day, but in the future. Not that you should only be building the relationships for benefit, but thinking about it in that I would like to connect with this person a little bit more. It's a great experience. It's a great part of the experience of being an entrepreneur. Okay, let's go on to the next question. Actionable goals. How are you goal setting and managing your time?
That is something I'm still trying to figure out. So I will definitely be listening to more episodes of this podcast to get some advice on that. So it is a great question. I will say, like, my 2 cents on this topic is it's really with setting goals. I think the most important thing is to make sure that the goal that you're setting really aligns with your overall brand vision. And I think that it's really hard to like prioritize it, especially if you're doing multiple types of ventures. So whenever we have like a brainstorming session, our team, and someone brings up an idea, the first question that like we ask ourselves is, how does this tie to our overall mission of being a community that empowers women? Like, does it tie to this? If not, like deprioritized. So that's kind of the mindset that I've realized has been really helpful for me. And I'm also a big fan of like co-working sessions. For me, it's hard to work on the weekends to get things done. So I'll like kind of hit up friends that like are also kind of doing their own thing. And I'll be like, hey, do you want to just go to this new coffee shop or this new boba place that opened up and just kind of work together there? And that kind of helps me keep track of my time because I'm like, okay, I have 5 hours blocked out on Saturday so I can enjoy the rest of my weekend and things like that. So
Oh, I love that. And so you are already doing one of the things we talk a lot about on the show is time blocking.
I was pretty lucky in that my parents were very big on mental health. So we were kind of always had that conversation. But now I think that kind of what makes me happy and like what I enjoy.
Well, this kind of ties into the next question, which is all about mental health and how do you keep track of everything? I mean, we can touch a little bit about how we have the real world and the virtual world and FOMO. I don't know if you want to talk about that or in general, just talk about your mental health and how do you keep everything in check?
I think that a lot of mental health is influenced by energy. I think more than we think. Like, I think that the type of people that you're around and the type of situations that you're in is what kind of what influences your mental health. You know, I think when you're around really positive people, your mental health tends to be a little bit better because you're just influenced by that. And when you're around people that are bringing you down or aren't really supportive of what you're doing, then your mental health starts to go down because then you start to doubt yourself too. You're like, what is the point? So yeah, it's really just finding different ways of like highlighting positivity, I think is how I address mental health.
And basically, you said it best. Your mental health is going to be directly or indirectly informed by the people that you're around. Energy is a huge part of it. It's not stressed enough when it comes to mental health, like the energy that you portray, but keeping the people close to you that are supportive. Mind you, not to turn a blind eye to warning signs of people, an advisor out there. Going back to your mantra, action conquers fear. Does your program have anything that they can offer to help women entrepreneurs or women in all industries find people that can help guide them?
That's a great question. And that's why we actually kicked off our women's mentorship and career exploration program at the end of last year. Because what we saw was that we have over 300 women writing for us, and these are like really great experts. And we have an opportunity here and a group of people here that have so much wisdom to offer. So we kind of were like, we have the building blocks of creating a mentorship program. And that was really exciting because this was during COVID where a lot of mentorship programs had been canceled. So we kind of wanted to create something virtual and it was really great. We wanted to make this a mentorship program for all industries as opposed to just one, because that's what our platform is. We're across industries. We wanted our mentorship program to reflect that. And it went really well. And this year we're going to be doing the second iteration this summer, which is going to be really exciting. We're going to be building out a new website for that. So more to come there. But yes, if business, technology, women's health, law, any of those fields, if you're interested in looking for a great mentor, let us know.
Oh my goodness, that is fantastic. And I know a lot of our listeners are just starting out. So if they are hedging between two fields, for example, like entrepreneurship and perhaps their day job, is that something that they can look into, perhaps getting a mentor for both opportunities?
Yeah, ours is really focused on that early journey exploration.
Fantastic. And that's what people need at the beginning of their journey, be it in entrepreneurship, be it in law, be it in any type of healthcare field. It is difficult to decide. And if you have a mentor who can say, yeah, this is likely what it will look like, not exact, but this is what you can do to find out, give you a guide at the very beginning before you get too deep into it. then it will be to your benefit by leaps
Exactly.
and bounds. So that has it launched yet, the mentorship program opportunity?
So 2022's is going to be launching in summer. So
Okay.
I will definitely shout that out when we have that fully launched.
Oh, this is awesome. Okay, so let's go from the top. Let's find out where you are on social media. What are your handles? We're going to link it on the show notes and in the captions below. And is there a website that they can sign up to? So then when you do shout out the mentorship program, we have our listeners will be the first to know.
Cool. So our website is womenwhowin100.com.
Oh,
And our Instagram is at womenwhowin100 as well. And we are also on Facebook and LinkedIn. So if you search us up there, you'll be able to find us. And on our website, we also have calls to action for our email list.
yeah. Shaleen, this was such a great opportunity to meet you and listen to everything you have to offer, especially for our women entrepreneurs and our women leaders, really. I think across all sectors, like I said, many people are doing two things at once. So they may be doing a 9 to 5 in their professional career, and then they're also dabbling into some sort of side hustle / entrepreneurship. So this is fantastic. And I know many of our listeners will look into this opportunity. And thank you again for coming on the show. Is there any other last pieces of advice you have for our listeners?
I would say just take action and enjoy everything you do.
Yay, I love it. Thank you guys for listening. And remember, make a plan and take action. And we'll talk to you guys again next week. Take care. Bye.